up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and this is your Love and Marriage Huntsville review. Normally, I make the Huntsville reviews on Mondays, but I'm not going anywhere today. I'm in the house. You can probably hear the rain in the back. It's been raining all day long. Oh, Lord, I don't have my phone. I'm back. Okay. All right. So we start off where we left off with Dr. Francis and Letitia talking. And he is asking her about defending a lie. And knowing it's a lie, she says, but I believe what the person told me. I went directly to the person and asked them, and I believe what they told me. So he asked her, has she ever been deceived by Marceau? And she says, not that I'm aware of. She says she just needs a confirmation, and he's petty, and so he'll let things go on and on and on. And then just kind of manipulating the situation, and that makes a person think that something is wrong. They don't know how to move through through whatever the issue is, because the other person isn't communicating clearly, and what I call speaking in riddles. So he plays those games with her, and it's in a manipulation tactic, because that's just what it is. How is the tension between you all based on his way of showing love to you and your what you actually need to be feel loved? And she basically says she's learning to accept his way. And then his way is she says she was really independent at first. Remember, I told y'all, they see an independent woman, and I don't know what it is that they feel like, I want to control that. And I'm trying to figure out, I would like to know if that control, did it start before she got pregnant and married? Was it there, or did it happen afterwards? Because if I'm figuring like you had this basically shotgun wedding, and you're just going to take the role of a husband to the max, to where you don't want the woman to work, you want her dependent on you for everything. And Dr. Francis says he needs you to depend. Well, that's what Tisha said. He needs me to depend on him. He wants to feel like the protector and the provider. And she says it feels like it's his ego. And then Dr. Francis says, well, it's really like a fear of losing, or a fear of loss. So what he does is create an environment to where you cannot leave him, and then that satisfies his fear. It's like it's literally like keeping a bird in a cage. It's so sad to hear her say this and talk about this. Oh my God, Erica. Oh, and then she said something about, what is it that you do for him? What is it? And she basically like whittled herself down to sex. I was like, oh my God, that's not good. I hope she's watching this and like looking and, seeing like, girl, that's not healthy. Like how you're navigating this part of your marriage, it's not healthy. The ideas that you have, those are not healthy. And I think she knows that. So we'll keep going. She loves to give. So basically what I got from what Dr. Francis was saying is like, you're giving in spite of yourself. You are not taking care of yourself. You are giving for everyone else. And you feel validated by someone else outside of yourself, right? You need to validate yourself. What did I say last week? I don't remember what day, but a lot of the way that we have learned to relate to other human beings is like to seek their validation for us, or we feel the need to control another person because we want them to be what we want them to be for us. And it's very like, it's sad because a lot of women lose their identities when they become mothers and wives. And I see it. And I like when, like, I remember one time on Facebook, I was in some group and I posted a question like, what is your greatest accomplishment? And don't say your kids. Don't say your kids. Don't say, because you have an identity outside of being a mother. And so I truly believe that we've been programmed to be like, I'm a great mom. I'm a great mom. I'm a great mom. I'm a great mom. And because we're judged so harshly on how a good wife we are, if we're able to keep a man satisfied, and then also how well you mother. And because usually when women are in conflict, that's the first thing they go after is your marriage and if you mother or not. And we are so much more outside of that. And I know that Tisha knows that, because if she was clear, like, I was independent before this relationship started, and he kind of like put her in a cage. It's weird. It's like, and why do you want that? Why do you want that? What are you lacking in yourself that you feel it necessary to maintain control over another person in a way that does not allow them freedom? Like, you confine them in the relationship. It was really, I hope that she like learned. It seemed like she was like very clear. And I feel like the way that she was interacting with Kimmy, I feel like she feels empowered. Something happened where she feels empowered, because the way that she's communicating, it's very direct. It is not coming from a people pleasing, way. She's really like, I'm not going to let y'all fuck with me the way y'all fuck with me. Because what Kimmy did at the end of the episode, I was like, girl, what the hell are you doing? You don't make sense at all. Anyways, so, I need to plug in my phone. Anyway, so we get to Mel and Martell, and they're going to take the advice of the co-parent coach and have a family meeting. They're all like having a picnic at the park, and they're playing these question and answer games. And basically the kids are saying what kids say. I want my parents back together so I won't cry anymore. The oldest daughter was like, I don't have friends whose parents are divorced. All my friends got 2-parent households. I'm not used to that. Melody was like, well, don't you have any friends? No. All my friends got their mom and daddy at home. But all your friends' daddy is not cheating on your mom, their mother. So, I mean, we don't know that, but I'm just saying this is the reason why we're here. And when they get age appropriate, then they can tell them what happened. The oldest two, they're going to put 2 and 2 together. They don't know why mommy and daddy got a divorce. They hear the fussing and stuff like that. And then when the girls, and when they get older, especially the girls, when they get older and start being in relationship with men and then realize what their dad did, they're going to have a different perspective. It's like, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's a trip. They don't want a stepmother and father. The little baby said, I don't want nobody kissing me on the cheek. So be clear and make sure that she set a boundary. I don't want nobody kissing me. I don't want you to be fake mom, fake dad, none of that stuff. Don't kiss me on the cheek. The boy said he would ruin it if his mom and dad got with somebody else. He's going to ruin it. Martell, he says in his confessional that the little that we have left, we need to kind of preserve that for the sake of the children. I want to spend all my time with both of you. I don't want to be in separate homes. Same house, same time. And then the other baby says, I don't want y'all fussing. I just need y'all to come back together and remarry. That's what they said. Think about the stuff. And then they asked, do you have any secret crushes? And then Martell says, you guys are my secret crushes. And then Boss Baby was like, no, because we saw y'all, whoever it was, you was going in the elevator at a hotel. It was very awkward. Then Melody was like, oh, I'll keep our secret. And I was like, what the hell? And Martell was looking like, what the hell? Like, what? I don't agree with Martell saying don't paint their father in a negative way. I just don't believe in lying to children. I do believe there's a way to tell a child the truth that's age appropriate, so you don't have to lie to them. I always say arm your children with the truth. When you give them lies and try to paint different pictures that aren't reality, you leave them open. You leave them open and not geared up, right? So I don't agree with him saying that Melody needs to protect him and his image. We're not doing that. And in a patriarchy, men really believe that although I have dishonored my marriage, I lacked self-discipline and self-control and really ruined my empire, but I need you to paint me in a different light, and I need you to protect my image because I don't want my children to know what I did, because he knows what he did was wrong. And it's like, I'm not going to hold a mask up for you. I'm going to take the mask off. I'm not going to play these games with you, and you're going to have to face the music and tell your children the truth. And that's how I feel. They heard a lot from both of us. When are you going to introduce them to their sibling? Melody wants to be present so that she can show them that she's in agreement, because what will happen, I don't remember what show it was on, where they said, like, when you're introducing your child to another person, and they're young, but the father or the other parent needs to be there to show, like, we're in solidarity. I can't remember what, I don't know if it was on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know what it was on, but it was something to that effect, like have the other parent there to show solidarity. He was like, I don't know if I want you there, because both of them are unpredictable, but predictable. Like, we know that you're going to start some shit. We just don't know what it's going to be. So I'm with him, but you can't create an environment that protects your image. I think that it helps to have Melody there. I think that it does. Because she says, I also need to be able to comfort them. Like, I agree with that. I agree with that. It might be too much for them. And, she said, your scandal was on another level. He says, well, and he says that it's going to come from him at the right time. Then they start talking about Chris Fletcher, and, he starts talking, he said, be nice, be nice. Did you hear him? What I noticed from Martell throughout the episode was that it looks to me that he doesn't really want to go back and forth with Melody, but he can't help it. Like, he's so petty that he can't help it. And when she goes, she keeps going because she can't help it either. And she's like triggered by his actions. He knows that, but then she goes, to me, I feel like she goes so deep and goes so quick that he's like, oh, like, I really don't want to do this, but like, then they go back and forth. That's what I get from them. I didn't know you had a problem with me building the homes. You really don't build for real. She was like, we've been in the construction industry the same amount of time, so don't try to play me. Don't try to downplay it or anything like that. And he just really doesn't have a good view about women. And it's sad because, like, men who have girls for children and they have negative views of women, what happens when the girl becomes a woman? The father might change the relationship because now you're a woman and he has these negative ideas about women, and now you're a woman. I feel like it's so sad that he really discounts women. And it's weird for me when I see men who want to feed their ego by controlling another person, but then you don't realize, like, even in relationships, like, you know, when you want to control the other person, it's like, why? And that's something like you need to heal. Like Dr. Francis was like, the fear of loss is the reason why he wants you to be dependent on him, and he's stifling her and literally keeping her in a cage. Martell, that's why I divorced you. That's why I want to divorce you, because you got a mouth. So you should be able to do whatever you want, and I can't protest. It is what it is. Marceau and Letitia was talking about Scott Manor and how, I guess, he fired the uncle, but the firm wants another chance, so he's going to give him another chance. They start talking about the Destiny race. It is a where they have a foundation where they support small businesses, and they're putting on this destiny race where the people write out like what they desire, and then they run towards it to run towards their destiny. Great idea. I think it's cute. She asked him how he felt. He said disconnected. She was like, disconnected from me? Because I didn't already told you that I feel like you disconnected from me. And he's talking about how in the past he wasn't his best in the relationship. And then they said that they were holding things in and not communicating effectively. And he was like, well, bad days don't last. It doesn't make sense. It's contradictory to say that I've been depressed, but bad days don't last. And it's like, so you just let things pile up. You don't talk to your wife. You don't want to talk to anybody about it. It's like really odd. It is really odd that you can be so like stuck in your ways that you are unwilling to like even admit that you have some flaws. You even have flaws with how you care for yourself, and you feel like you need to be stressed out and overworked and all of this other stuff, but you don't want to talk to anybody. And it's weird. It's just weird. And it's just like, it makes somebody think, like, it keeps a person like thinking like Tisha, I don't know how to communicate with you. You're not communicating with me. You tell me bad days don't last, but then you also tell me that you're depressed. And then you tell me I just need to listen. And it's like, I don't know. She said, I did talk to Dr. Francis, and he talked about, you know, me being a wife and a mom and my identity and giving myself up to be a wife and a mom. And he goes, he tried to make it seem like she was like Dr. Francis confused her. Like, wait a minute. Like, no. That's not what you think, Letitia. You must be confused. You know, you could be a great wife and a good mom, and basically telling her you can be good for everybody else, just not yourself. That's what it translated for me. He basically tried to say that she left out of the session with Dr. Francis confused. No. You're misunderstanding what he's telling you. That's not what he's telling you. And then he starts reprogramming what he has built into her psyche, right? That's not what you understood, Tisha. That's not, you must have been confused to what Dr. Francis was saying. What he was really saying was insert whatever bullshit he wants, right? It's very manipulative and it's very subtle. And you have, if you have never been involved in that or have not studied, you know, how people manipulate people, you can really get wrapped up in some foolishness like that. She says, well, I ate the meat and threw away the bones. And she says, he says that I defend you a lot. He was like, well, it'd be crazy if I could hide 2 kids. You'd have to give me some credit. And she's like, no, you would deserve to be dead. But she was like, I know you're telling the truth. So I don't know if she's playing with him or not, or she's actually like, her wheels are spinning, you know, like, okay, I need to find my own identity. I need to validate myself. I need to be great for myself and not everybody else. Let's see. All right. So they go to play baseball. Destiny shows up. She says that, you know, them having their anniversary gives her hope. So, for her next ex-husband, that made me laugh. Martell says he's tired of the people feeling sorry for him. Males telling stories that aren't accurate. He said he wanted a divorce because even with Kim and Kanye told Kim he wanted a divorce, but then allowed her to file the divorce to save face. Save face from what? You were wrong. You had a baby. What you want a divorce for? Because she's mad because you had a baby on her? Like, girl, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? It's so crazy. And then everybody's faces was like, what are you saying, Martell? They know his ass is crazy. I told Mel I wanted a divorce. You're not finna lie. You blast everything on social media, girl. He said, girl, you are a good actress, girl. That was so funny to me. She was like, and you continue to cheat. I wanted a divorce. And she said he never said that. she said he never said that. He only said it a few times. He says, no, I was the one who wanted it. Mel said, y'all need to put right in here that what he said from season 1. Baby, they rolled the tape. I said, baby, you better produce the show. You better produce the show, Melody Holt. This bitch said, because I know the truth. And what Martell does, he knows that the line triggers her. And then she goes, and then he goes, but then he be looking like he doesn't really want to go at it with her, but it's really the only way that he can connect to her is to emotionally hook her into an argument. Then he can get and feed off of all of that energy. It's the same advice that everybody's giving Candace. Don't allow these people to hook you in, because they know they have your buttons to press. They know you're not going to stop. And then they get into it. But then he be looking like, girl, I don't even want to go there with you. You be lying, girl. You a good actress, girl. That was so funny to me. I thought we were supposed to be celebrating love today. And then here comes Louis. As men, we should, and I think that when we say those things as men and as women, for men, they're like, as men, we should, and it's this confinement to how you should display emotions. Like, it's okay for the woman to be emotional and post shit to the internet, but for you as a man, you should not be doing that. And it's like, that's not fair. It is not. Whether he's right or wrong, he should not be confined to, you can't do what she does simply because you're a man and you have to be the better person or whatever. And then even Destiny was like, yeah, I mean, if you're the leader and you're supposed to be the provider, what she say? You're supposed to be the leader and the provider. You're supposed to be the man. And he's like, well, the women need to stay in their place, basically. And Lou was like, you don't need to respond to everything. And he was like, she don't need to respond to everything. He was like, well, we can't control what they do, and she can't control what I do. And they were both right. They were both right. I don't think that it's fair, as wrong as Martell is, I don't think that it's fair to say, because you are a man, you are restricted to display emotion like this. And it's okay for the woman to get online and display emotion like this because she's a woman. That is unfair. It's not fair, and it puts people in a box, and it's like, oh, Martell can't respond. She's doing all this shit online. Why can't I do it too? And then you're like, okay, think about it. Think about it. As men, we should, no, Lou. He said, listen, Lou. Listen, Lou. Listen, Linda. You're not going to tell me that she can act a fool on the internet and social media, and I have to, as a man, act a certain way. That's not cool. I agree. I agree with him, even though he is crazy. Like, Martell is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I was like, this man is sitting up here lying with a straight face. I asked her for a divorce, and I just let her go ahead and divorce to save face. Nigga, what? You sound crazy. Why did you want a divorce? Because she had mouth, and that was the mouth that came because you were cheating on her. So she felt, I don't have any respect for you anymore, so I'm going to talk shit to you. So you want a divorce because she's responding to your infidelities. Girl, we're not playing those games with you at all. You cheated too. I just didn't catch you. He lied. You're being disrespectful. And then Lou said something about maintaining long-lasting relationships. And then Mel says, well, if you want to be emotionally immature, she said, you need to control your triggers, because if you know your triggers, you are responsible for controlling your triggers. No one else. And when you say that someone else triggered you and you respond, you're actually allowing them to control your behavior, because they know, I'm going to press these buttons and you're going to act like this. And Mel, and that's why I say all the time, the Petties, when they were a team, they were a dynamic duo, right? But apart, they just two petty people not letting shit go. It's crazy. What's his name said it's too much estrogen. And did you Martell it up? He knows exactly what he's doing. He smiles. I said this last season. He has a little smirk on his face because he's just sitting back like, yep, I got you exactly where I want you. I know you don't fool with me, but the only way that I can actually connect with you is by making you more angry, lying. That will trigger you, and then you're on the hook. And now we going back and forth. And I'm going to act like, girl, you crazy, this and that. But you're feeding off of that because that's the only way to connect with Melody now is through messing with her. And they do it to each other. They do it to each other. So they are sitting there talking about texting, right? The men leave out of the room. The women are talking about, Tisha sent a text to everybody asking if they were going to sponsor the event. And Kimmy basically said that she didn't appreciate that Tisha sent her a text. She should have called her. And she was like, what? And the way that Letitia was acting with Kimmy, I felt like she was saying, bitch, you're not about to punk me. You're not about to talk to me any kind of way. I'm going to let you know how I feel. And it is what it is. To me, from that entire thing, I felt like Kimmy was unreasonable. If you know that I call you the most, and I call and I call and I call. And I noticed one day, and I can relate to that because that happened to me. I moved away and I stopped calling people, and I realized I was the one calling all the time. I was the one making the effort to connect with people. And when I stopped, the call stopped. Right? And so now I'm going to send you a text. So now you have a problem with me because you have an expectation, and the way that you want to control our relationship is that you call me, you normally call me, but you didn't call me, you send me a text. I would rather you have called me. But at the same time, Kimmy says, I text, I prefer text. So then what's the problem? So you making up shit. You're clearly making shit up, because if I'm relating to you in a way where I call you all the time and I discover that the only time we talk is when I call you. So I'm going to adjust that because I'm not doing the people pleasing thing anymore. And I'm going to now talk to you through text messages, because I always call. So now you have a problem with the text message because that's always been our relationship, Tisha. Well, Tisha changed the terms of the relationship because of how you are acting with her. She doesn't want to call you anymore. She sends a text. You have a problem with the text. When you text, you call me every other time, but I call you and I realize that I was always calling you. And so now I'm sending texts, and you're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry you want me to behave this way for you, but it doesn't work for me anymore because I'm tired of putting in the effort to reach out to you. Tisha says, well, you're the planner. Are you always planning? I don't know where she got that from or why she threw that out there, but I guess she was like, bitch, if you're going to come up and make up some shit, I'm going to make up some shit too. So you planning something? Well, what am I planning? Everybody's looking confused. Like, girl, what are you talking about? What is she planning? She was like, well, if you ain't planning nothing, you ain't planning nothing. I think Letitia was like, okay, if we going to play this game, I'm going to play this game. So I guess you wasn't planning nothing then, were you? Being petty. And then they're like, well, you know what? We're really tired of what's, happening every single time we get together. It's always an argument, and it's becoming consistent. I feel like Kimmy was being unreasonable. I feel like Tisha broke the template that they were operating in. You come to me, you call me. I'm not doing that anymore. I'll send you a text. Now you got a problem with the text. But then you say, I'm not a talking person. I don't talk. I'm a texting person. So then why do you have a problem with her texting you then? Girl, you don't make no sense, Kimmy. Girl, I was like, Kimmy, shut up. You don't make no damn sense. Tisha said, I'm treating everyone how they treat me. I don't know what happened to Dr. Francis because we only saw 30 seconds. So I feel like she was empowered in some way because she was very direct, and it wasn't like, well, Girl, I adjusted the way that we relate to each other. I adjusted it because I felt like I was putting in more effort and you weren't putting in any effort. Well, that's our relationship. Well, I changed it. So you don't like it? I'm sorry. You should call me sometimes then. Maybe we can get back to calling each other if you called me sometimes. Baby, that's how it was. Um, let's see. I think that's pretty much it, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think about the episode. What do you think about the exchange between Lou and Martell, and Martell saying, the women get to do whatever they want to do and we don't. The only thing that's wrong with that, like we could say, like Martell is right by saying that. However, in this particular situation, you are wrong and you're trying to figure out a way to put Melody on the hook with you. Like, I'm only doing what, no, you have said that she wasn't giving you head, right? And that's why you went out and you cheated on her for half of your marriage, but you're saying now she cheated on you. You had a baby. Your turn. Like, what are we doing here? The lady was unhappy about how the relationship was going and she left. And she has every right to be mad at you. You destroyed your empire for some girl. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.